correctly predicted Mahamudu Bawumia's victory against Kennedy Japan at the recently held MPP Congress. Professor, I greet you.
I greet you, Sir Paul.
How are you?
Well, I'm great.
Your prediction on Mahamudu Bawumia, did you give him 57%?
We ended at 61 plus or minus 3.
3 minus 61 is 58. Also almost there.
Yeah.
So if he had gotten 64, it's still the same. Yeah. So if Mahamudu Bawumia got 70, then you'll be out of prediction.
Out of that, yes.
Or if he got 40, you'd have been out of prediction.
That would not be possible. In fact, you asked me the same question, and I told you it would mean that science doesn't work anymore.
In fact, you told me that if anyone will win a first round, it's only Bawumia who can win a first round.
I told you it was going to be a one round. Yes. There was no way.
This research that you people do, is it expensive?
Very expensive.
So when they are alleging that a politician has paid for it, should we believe it?
Oh, I'll be happy if the politician will be happy to pay for it.
But when a politician pays for it, do you have to do it according to what he wants?
No, that cannot be. Then I don't selling your conscience.
Can a politician tell you after you have done the research, if he paid for it, that the research is against me, don't publish? Can he tell you that?
No. So
yeah, but
if you want me to do for you, that's a private activity.
Yeah. Do for me.
I do private activity for you. You'd publish it. I don't come in.
You don't hold the intellectual property rights of the document.
No, then it's a consultancy I'm giving you.
But why will a politician pay you and allow you to publish it if it's against him?
No, so if you want me to do some work for you, I will do the work for you. You decide what you do with the work. But when we commission our own study, then we would take that.
How do you raise money for your own study?
Oh, it's not easy. I'm far from here. I'm coming to you.
Well, but if I give you money and the survey shows that Dr. Bawumia is not doing well in Central Region, I will not let you publish it. I will rather take the document, call Ofori Siama and Co, go to Central Region, try and correct it.
No, so you need to draw the line.
No, the only reason why I will raise money for you is because I want to be sure that my candidate is looking okay.
No, so it is not about what you published out there that makes your candidate look okay. If your candidate is not doing well, the candidate is not doing well.
Oh, it can help. If my candidate is not doing well, but everybody is publishing that he's going to win.
No.
It can help.
You see, you are dealing with an electorate, a voter population who are more enlightened, who understand what they want. And so you can get people to tickle you and you think you are doing something good. They will show you at the polls.
Is that what Baba Jamal was able to achieve in Nima when all the polls said that he wasn't going to get anywhere? The polls were giving him 18%. I remember I spoke to him at that time. He's a good friend of mine. And he was laughing. He was completely said, Paul, you wait for it. I think it was a Tuesday. He said, Saturday. He said, wait for Saturday.
Yeah.
I said, Baba, the people say you are down. You left this, your high commissioner. You say, Paul, wait for Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday came and it was a disaster for the polls.
Yeah, because even though you do the prediction, the influence. So again, you have to look at the voter demography, voter pattern, voting pattern within a particular area, and to what extent will inducement inform or change patterns. And so in a case where it's a very small constituency, the inducement plays a big role.
So as a pollster, you have to factor that in.
You need to factor that.
But in national polls, inducement doesn't work?
Well, inducement is to only a marginal effect, extent, because there's not much you can do nationally. Nationally, if you want to influence people to a point that they will be convinced that, oh, I have actually received something really good to influence my decision, it means that you are really, really going to cough out a lot of resources. And that is not easy at a national level. And that is why at a national level, you need to really be solid on your messaging. You need to be solid on your strategy. Otherwise, as for what people are paying on the D-Day, so if you look at the MPP primaries, what happened? It was a reason on National Day, one of the candidates decided to target and do inducement at a certain level. But he couldn't do that across the board. Even at specific constituencies where this candidate had to do something, he couldn't even do it across every delegate. They had to target. And so he was not really looking forward to winning. He wanted to just make a point. And so that is there. So inducement can help you.
It can help. But it might not change the skills
No,
significantly.
no, at the national level, no.
So if you are hoping to make a name that in this NDC Congress I will get 10%, you can use inducement to do that.
Oh, then you have to do targeting.
Yes, you can use targeted inducement
works.
to achieve 10%.
That can work.
But to win,
no,
you can't have inducement.
No.
What's the percentage that inducement can play in winning?
It depends again on the population you are dealing with.
200,000 people, regular Ghanaians, polling station executive, constituency executives, regional executives. If you look on the average, 40% of them are unemployed. Another 40% earn salaries below, say, 6,000 cedis. What role can inducement play? If you're going to share 1,000 cedis.
I mean, 1,000 cedis. Look, it will not
per individual.
No,
per individual.
They won't mind you. They will take the money.
If you are giving 15,000 people 1,000 cedis, you can't get them to vote for you.
No.
So that you can.
Some would, but the average voter today, constituency executive, 1,000 cedis, they will laugh at you.
Too small.
It's too small. I'm telling you, they will laugh at you.
So those of us who want to go into politics, we should wait.
No. So you see, politics also relationship is very important in politics.
Good.
You need to. That is why you don't just get up and think that you are coming to do something. You need to build a solid relationship. And people would vote on relationship, not on the money.
They vote on relationship more than money.
Yes.
Okay, but if we are voting for a presidential candidate, we all won't see him. We all can't have a relationship with him. How do they glean his relationship? The way he relates to others?
Now they are looking at who is your local rep.
Oh,
I see. To what extent does the person who is fronting your campaign have access to this presidential candidate that he's campaigning for? And so
that is to say, if a constituency organizer is working for you in Bantama,
yes,
the Bantama people are checking the extent to which he talks to you.
Very important.
So if they tell him that a constituency polling station person tells you that my father has died, can you ask boss to come? And the boss comes, then they know that you.
Then they know that you have influence.
You have influence over the boss.
And so whatever
if
you
they
tell
vote
them,
for the boss and he becomes president, they can also participate.
They can actually participate.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
So you need to select carefully.
Very carefully.
Oh, that's
who
difficult.
Who becomes your rep? Who is representing you at the region, at the constituency? Very, very important.
That's difficult to find.
Very difficult. But that is why I say it's about relationship. I heard you talk about people picking their phone calls. And look, around this time, people are complaining and you are hearing it.
Yeah.
It's usually a problem in governance. When you are in power, you are not just dealing with the people you were dealing with in opposition. You are dealing with all kinds of complex issues. And sometimes it's difficult to just pick phone calls. But those who really are minded, they have a strategy they put in place to make sure that even if they can't pick the call, somebody will answer and say, oh, he's busy, send a message. I know people who have actually invested so much in just phone call relationship. There's the reason why some MPs, you go to their constituencies, no visible development is taking place, yet they would always win their seat. Why? Because they have a team back home who something happens. Oh, somebody has just passed. By the next morning, a delegation is in your house on behalf of that MP to say, oh, we heard something has happened. You know, Honorable is on an important mission in Accra, so he has sent us to come and attend to you. And sometimes it's not about the money, just the fact that Honorable has come. And so you see the poster, and he's a chief mourner. He has no relationship with the family, but he's a chief mourner because he has actually established a relationship with them. So he arrives in the community, and everybody knows that, oh, when I had a naming ceremony, he came. When I had a funeral, he was there. When I was in trouble, he was there. So that's why I say relationship is very important. And you need to have a strategy.
My producer is asking me to get into the main interview, but let me ask you one question. If I'm a Christian, I don't drink Pito. I don't drink Red. I don't drink Ogoglo DC10. And then I go to the constituency and they offer it to me and I say that, oh, because of Matthew chapter 7, I can't drink Ogoglo. Would they be offended?
You need to understand the cultural, MF culture also play an important role. If you don't handle it well, they'll be offended, and that can go against you. And that is why you don't just go to a community and think that you are the Oga. You have to go through the people, the local representation. They would guide you. We are going to the chief palace. This is what will happen, and this should be your response. Sometimes it's not about even drinking. I have gone to communities as part of my community work where they serve me with a cup of water. You can see that this water really It's not. And somebody told me. I took it and then I just tried to take a sip. I couldn't drink it, but I had to culturally signify that I have accepted it. And the chief said, because you accepted our water, we have accepted you. And whatever you're coming to do, we'll support you.
Very difficult job. I'm sure viewers who are watching, young people, you want to be politicians, please watch and then send text message to Fatih Ekua. Okay, Mikael and Ella, so let's begin a new video on this one. 10 minutes gone already, as have been showed. Let's begin a new video. So what survey have you conducted on the NDC?
So we've been monitoring what is happening. And so we've seen leaders, top leaders within the NDC indicating they explicitly not indicated that we want to contest, but every sign shows, and their support base have started campaigning vigorously for them. If you follow some of them on social media, you see what is happening. And so we decided, look, we've done almost 1.5 years into the current administration. And by 2.5 years, we are at the polls again. And we are aware that the president is not going to be eligible to contest elections. And so we need leadership. And once the NPP have come up successfully at electing their flag bearer, what we are looking forward to is who becomes the flag bearer in the NDC. And so we decided to take a look at that side as well. And so we've been looking around it and successfully hold our hands on their register. And so we decided to engage constituency level executives across all the 276 constituencies. And so that is what we have been doing, trying to engage them to gauge
How many executives are in each constituency?
In total, I think there are about 21.
21 each constituency?
Yes.
So you're doing 21 times 276?
Yes.
Ooh, that's an amazing number.
But the modality is that we didn't go to each constituency to say that we are going to interview at each constituency. That will really be a daunting task. So we have just gone ahead and deployed what we call our bulk SMS messaging to these executives, who are executives.
So you message them that, will you vote for Baumia?
So we put...
will you vote for Asiedun Ketia?
So we have a set of questions, a structured questionnaire that we put together, and then we message directly to these NDC executives.
You obtained their phone numbers?
Yes, we did. We did obtain all their phone numbers, and then we reach out directly to them. Now, the point is that is the limitation of such a poll is that it becomes self-selection bias. So you also are not sure if everybody received that message. It is possible that someone might have changed their phone number from the phone number that we have access to. And so, but the good news is that of all the 276 constituencies that we have, we had responses from all the 276.
But how do you trust these responses that you have, given that you are getting it on phone?
Well, see, that is why I said there's a self-selection bias that would come. But we ensure that in what we are sending to you, if it's Paul who is on the register, we ensure that what we are sending to you is just Paul. And in our analysis, we are guided to ensure that we have only one response from Paul. If Paul responds twice, that is a duplicate. And we try to take out all duplicates before we conduct analysis, just so that we are certain that whoever we are getting, we actually analyzing the data based on the people that we send the survey to.
I see. Okay, so if you send a survey to me,
yes,
I don't want to tell you the truth. How would you know?
No, that is a perception. That is why it's a perception. If you don't want to tell me the truth, that is your answer. So it is possible.
I am voting for Julius Debra, but I don't want to tell you I'm voting for Asiedun Ketia.
At this point, any member of the NDC team, family, who really supports a particular candidate would want to project that candidate. And so really it would be very unfortunate.
Very rare, very rare.
Yeah, that you support candidate A, but you decide that you tell us that you support candidate B to make that candidate popular. Because if we put up the poll and then we publish the results and the candidate you support actually doesn't make the threshold, and then we put them aside, literally you are pushing your candidate out of the
You are even getting him to lose funding.
Exactly.
Because people who fund are looking at these polls to determine who they should fund.
Absolutely.
So what questions do you ask them? Who would you vote for?
Well, so there are a number of questions that we asked. The first question was to gauge the support that they have, each candidate have. So we asked the question, which of the following candidates do you support as the NDC's flag bearer in 2028 or going to 2028 elections?
Which candidate do you support as NDC's flag bearer?
Support.
So you gave them the candidates.
The candidates.
Open-ended.
No. So we close-ended.
Yeah.
They are candidates that we supplied.
Okay.
But we also give them the option to provide.
Open-ended means unlimited.
Open-ended means unlimited. So they have to.
Closed-ended means you
that
give them.
we give them the list of candidates.
Also, they didn't mention.
They didn't mention,
You
but
gave them among these candidates.
among these candidates.
Which candidates did you present to them?
So we presented His Excellency Jenana Opoku-Agyeman. We had Honorable Johnson Asiedu Nketia, Honorable Julius Deborah, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Honorable Samuel Kujetu Ablakwa, Honorable Kasiel Atoforsen. And then we had other. So that in the event that the candidates we have presented to you, your preferred candidate is not among this list, you had the opportunity to
Okay, but
indicate.
if you came there and said, replace Samuel Kujetu Ablakwa with Sam George, would you do that? You sent me a question, I said, so then I go to other.
You go to other and actually write that name there.
Or you go to other and say Sam George.
Yes.
Or I go to other and say Zaneto Rollins.
Exactly.
Or I go to other and say Mahama Yarega.
Absolutely. And in fact, when we looked at the data, there were 3 names that popped up in the other category.
Like who?
We had Honorable, the Agric Minister, Eric Opoku.
Yeah.
We had Ekos Piogabra.
Oh, but Ekopoku has indicated his ambition. You didn't add him to the list.
Well, we didn't see that.
Okay.
Again, this is an evolving space.
Did you say Spio Gabra?
Yes, Piogabra's
Oh,
name
I
came
don't
up.
think he's interested.
All right. And then the third name that came up was Joshua Alabi.
Alabi is interested. He's run before.
Yes.
So he's interested.
So these 3 names actually popped up in the other category.
So that was the only question they were supposed to answer.
No. The second question was, if elections were held today, which of the candidates would you likely vote for?
No, your first question is, who would
Support.
you vote for the...
Support for flag bearership.
But if the election is held today, among the same
Among the
candidates,
same category of.
but the person who supports the same person you will vote for.
Well, interestingly, it's not exactly
Did it
the
work
same.
like that?
Well, it worked like that. The pattern didn't change, but the proportions changed.
That's
Marginally.
interesting. That's interesting.
Yes.
So there were some people who support a candidate, but they won't vote for him today.
Today.
Ooh. Beautiful.
Very interesting. But it didn't end there. The third question we asked was, who is the closest opponent to the candidate you support? So, assuming you support candidate A, and if elections were held today, who will you vote for? Now, assuming this is what you're saying, among this list, who do you consider to be the closest opponent to the candidate you support? So this time it's not your candidate, but who? In other words, who do you consider as a threat to your candidate? And we had responses as well. The fourth question was, which factor will most influence your support for a candidate? So again, gauging what exactly is informing your choice. And interesting results. Very, very interesting results. And I see a sharp...
Okay, let's pick it one after the other. This is very...
Okay.
Please, Mr. Asifo, we are coming, Honorable. We will deal with the corruption. This is getting interesting. I'm sure you're also interested in it. You're also enjoying it. Let's deal with it. So, one, who would you support? How did it come up?
Well, so it did come up for Jenana Opoku-Agyeman. She had 3.6%.
That's not good.
Johnson Asiedu Nketia, 31.9%.
Hey, that's huge.
Julius Deborah, 30.1%.
Whoa.
Very interesting.
31 and 30.5.
1.8% difference. Honorable Haruna Idrisu, 17.9%.
That's impressive.
Samuel Kujetu Ablakwa, 1.0%.
Below Vice President.
Yes.
Kesel.
Kesiel, 13%.
Okay.
Others,
Not bad.
2.5%.
Wow.
That is the first one. Now, when we move to, if elections were held today, who will you vote for? Jenana Agyeman, 4%. So she moved from 3.6 to 4%.
Oh, given that she's Vice President, if elections were held today, while she's still Vice President. Okay, 4%. Then?
When we come to Samuel Kujetu Ablakwa, he maintains the 1%.
Okay.
Kasiel Atoforsen, 14.1%.
Up from 13.
Up from 30.
Okay.
Then Haruna Idrisu, 17.3%. He drops marginally.
Okay.
Johnson Asiedu Nketia, 32.7%.
He goes up.
He goes up.
Yeah.
And then Julius Deborah, 30.9%, also goes up.
Yeah.
Now, what is happening here is that the other population, those who were mentioning other names, were no longer interested in pursuing the other, but rather decided to give their votes if the elections were held today. Then they would actually go in the route of any of these candidates that we are mentioning.
Yeah.
So that is what is informing the marginal proportion.
Those who voted other,
Yes.
support other, were not eligible to cast a vote in this one.
They are eligible.
For their other. Eligible to cast
They
for
were
their
eligible,
other.
but they opted to give their votes to these
No,
guys.
they were limited to giving their vote to one of these people.
No, so
They could still have said other.
They could still have done other.
But the other didn't
But
come.
they didn't show the other. They rather went for any of these candidates. In other words, they actually see these candidates as formidable.
I see.
Yeah. Now, who is the closest opponent to the candidate you support? This is where it gets interesting.
Yes, tell us.
Again, when you take Jenna now Pokwa Jemai, she pulls up 8.5%. So the people
who is the closest opponent to who?
to the candidate you support.
So the question is, so whoever you support, I support Julius Deborah.
So
who is the
now
second?
exactly.
In case there's no Julius Deborah.
If there's no Julius Zebra, or in other words, the import of this question is to see who you perceive to be the threat to your candidate.
I see.
So from the minds of the people who support candidate A, they are now responding on behalf of other candidates. Who is
Okay, so
the
this
closest
8.5
opponent?
is coming on from who are answering on the 8.5?
The same
Yes,
delegates.
but do you know whether their number one was this or their number one was that?
So we can isolate that. So when we are answering this question, you are not answering this question for your candidate.
I get that, but do you know the person answering who he has chosen for this already?
Yes.
You have that data.
We have that data.
Okay, so when you say 8.5 of them said Jenana, 8.5 of who?
8.5 of the 2,408.
So Julius Deborah's people are in the 8.5.
They are in the 8.
I say Dunketa is in it.
Yes. So this time around, this is how it works. So if 30 point, Julius Zebra is about 30.9%, right? If the elections were held today. So the 30.9%, let's assume that it comes to about 600 people. So these 600 people would vote all right, but they are no longer voting for Julius Zebra in this particular question. They are voting for any of the other candidates they consider to be the closest opponent to their.
So it's not their second choice you're asking.
It's not their second choice.
The one you think.
No, it's not their
threatens your
second
candidate.
choice.
It's not their second choice.
No,
Okay,
it's not
I
a
get
second
that.
choice.
Because other people do polls where they do second choice.
Yes,
and then we
it's
can
not
use
their
that as
second
an-
choice.
Okay.
It's rather to see who do you think is a threat to you. So in other words, even though they support candidate A, they are keeping an eye on this candidate because whatever this candidate does can influence.
And 8.5% said Jenana is a threat to various people.
Yes,
Okay,
and that is a perception.
Yeah, next is what?
Next, we have Saboku Jota Blakwa, 4.3%. Cassio Atuforsen, 27.1%.
Good.
Haruna Idrisu, 15.5%. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, 29.1%. Julius Zebra, 15.6%. So this is how it's playing out. So in other words, from the opponent's camp, they are seeing these people to be a threat from different angles. But these guys are also working seriously with their own base. So you take Cassio, for example, he is doing 14% if elections were held today. But within the camp of all the other guys, they think that Cassio is a threat.
15%.
No, 27.1%.
27, yes.
Because he comes second, just 2 percentage points
Could
behind.
that be because he controls money?
Well,
It could be anything.
it could be anything, but it is highly possible.
Asiedu Nketia is 29
29 and he is 27,
and Julius is 15.
15.
So is it easy for a candidate to convert the threat to his votes?
It is. So again, so what is happening now is become like a psychological game. Now, you sit here thinking that this guy is a threat, but actually on the ground, this guy is not really the threat. Because when you take this data, of course, nobody had this data. We have access to this data and can see, because at the time you are even voting or responding to these questions, you don't know what other people are saying. Now, when we put the first part of the data together, we saw that, oh, Atto-Forsen is doing like 14% if elections were held today. But in the minds of his main opponents, people who are in the other camp, they see Atto-Forsen to be a big guy, big threat who can actually make a big difference. So now, when you see data like this, you say, oh, okay, you might have been targeting the wrong person as part of your strategy. So if you think that this guy is a threat, but on the ground is not a threat, then you may be targeting and following him so much and spending so much to undo what he's doing, but really losing out on what you should actually be doing.
Wow.
What is going to influence, or what is influencing the decisions that these delegates are having, it's experience and track record, which is standing tall at 22.8%. We have...
And that's the issue that influence them.
Yes, what is influence?
Experience and track record.
Personal integrity and honesty at 19.6%. Ability to unite the party at 16.1%. Grassroots appeal.
So experience is more.
Experience and track record is like the first thing. Now, Paul, the very interesting, which was a surprise to me, is the issue on policy proposal. In fact, it's a list. Policy proposal. So the things that you are coming to tell that when you come, you will do, etc. is a list on what is influencing decisions. So in other words, unlike what you were saying earlier, when you look at what played out in the MPP primaries, there was issues. What you were going to do differently. So it was about jobs, it was about this, it was about that. This one, the delegates are saying that, no, this is not really what is of interest to us at this point. We are interested in who has a track record and experience, because we should be able to, and by experience, we are not looking at your private life. They are looking at your track record in the party, your experience within the party, that you'll be able to unite. Because if you look at how things have started, there's this perceived expectation that it is going to be hotter. And you need somebody who will be able to bring all heads together when all is over. And so this is something that is really going to play out within the NDC flag bearership race.
Very, very important. In terms of your research, when are you researching again? Do you have like periodic every 3
months?
Yes,
so for this NDC, we are waiting for their calendar, but we are planning to do this every month. We are going to be tracking this month on month to see how things play out. And then we will delve a little deeper into other areas. So in the coming months, we are looking forward to going to the branch level to add on to the conversation, the branch level. And at APL, we deploy different strategies. So as I speak from tomorrow, we are beginning our direct phone calls to the branch executives. And we are going to be doing that, talking to the people directly, not they responding, identifying them and talking to them directly, and ensuring that we are speaking to the person whose name appears on the register. And we'll collate that and then also compare that to what we have from the bulk SMS message. And then there's a third leg to it where we actually deploy enumerators to the field to engage directly with the delegates. So we'll be doing that and we'll be keeping you updated.
I'm just happy that delegates and branch executives are talking to you, knowing that you are doing polls. It means some of the culture of the silence has been broken. We thank God for that. That people are now speaking in Ghana. It wasn't the case. So before you ask them, who will you vote for? They think you are going to report them to BNI. So that BNI will come and catch them, because that's what J.J. Rawlings and his cohorts were doing to Ghana. Over 20-something years, I think we've managed to get it over. I'm very delighted to hear that they're talking to you. Thank you, boss. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners, our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
As the days come and go, there's always shit. Let colleagues explore all the planetary bodies. Our mission is in Uranus to treat hemorrhoids, anal fistula, anal fissure, anal incontinence, hydradenitis suppurativa, using laser ligature for pain-free and speedy recovery. On Uranus Street, Accra, is Main Tuber Hospital and Coloproctology Center. Trust Uranus with us and we will delight you. Visit Main Tuber Hospital today or call us on 0244 581 541.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, yeah. Believe it, you can achieve. Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the bliss. Oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you. Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, a man is swing, and a sansu mama hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80-gram and 150-gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Grab your bottle and unleash the taste of Storm Energy Drink. A bold flavor, a big attitude. Feel the vibe, own the moment. It's your time to be different. Storm Energy Drink, make your mark.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
Looking for the ultimate oil city getaway? Welcome to the Groove Etipon Beach Resort for a luxury meet adventure. Host your meetings and events in our fully equipped conference facility. Relax our sparkling pool, unwind in cozy rooms, satisfy your cravings at our scenic restaurant, and enjoy fun-packed recreational activities and a walk through our charming menus. Whether it's business, pleasure, or pure escape, the Groove is your perfect destination.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes towards...
Do not say!
That's who goal is for.
What
I 5 Champions League. You want to know?
I be the real goat, chairman.
I'm the real goat.
The left magician, the left magician.
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigerian Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
No, that shit. You two they lie, eh? Now the same stew when they use cook the rice and then they go put them
Chanto. You are lying. Ghana Jollof.
Are you busy? Forget everybody. Yeah. My guy. Put your papa in the jar. Put some respect on the goat. On the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tama. Every year we dey give to you back to back. We are talking about BET. I want some Yaji face. Except be the goat, huh? My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomobitus always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18, nor recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Hive Management Systems, in partnership with the Solid Waste Association of Ghana, invites you to the Green Go Hub official launch and fundraising event. Theme: Powering the Circular Economy with Smart Technology, with a focus on incentivizing segregation at source. Join us at the Mamphy Hall Gimba Green Hill campus on Thursday, 7 May 2026 at 10 a.m. Our special guest of honor is Niayi Bonte II, Bese Manche Adonte of the Ghana State, Chairperson, Nanama Entry, Executive Secretary of the Environmental Service Providers Association. Keynote addresses will be delivered by Honorable Samuel Nate George, Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, and Professor Nanama Brown Kluche, Chief Executive of the Environmental Protection Authority. This event is proudly endorsed and supported by the Ghana National Plastic Action Partnership, the Environmental Protection Authority, the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, the Environmental Service Providers Association, Zoomlion Ghana Limited, and Indigo Foundation, with media support from Media General, UTV, Metro TV, MX24, and 1957 News. To register as a sponsor or donor, visit www.gringo-hub.com or call 054-342-7085. Your fundraising host and MC will be Mr. Alfredo Kanse. With strategic partnership from Globalware, the East Legon Executive Fitness Club, Blue Skies, and Margins Group, this event is powered by MTN as the official title sponsor. Be part of the movement towards a cleaner, smarter, and more sustainable future.
Countryman Songo is in the studio, and the big story that hit us on Tuesday night, and as I said before, on Tuesday night, we were not going to have a show, took a short break, but the news came and we had to deal with it. I was in faraway United Kingdom, and I spoke to Countryman Songo, and we tried to do something. We apologize again for the technical hitches of the day, but the news has stayed where it is, thankfully, and so we can have the same conversation again tonight. The Black Stars have fired Otto Addo. Joining us in the conversation is in the studio is Countryman Songo. Openi Wadaroma. Yeah. Fire for fire.
More fire. So no need to talk about the coach.
We'll talk about the coach. You'll come there. We'll talk about the new coach.
You're fire anyway.
You're fire anyway, but we'll talk about
why talk about the coach?
We'll get there. And then online joining our conversation is Ibrahim Sani Diarra. They're going to put them out very soon. You see the Ibrahim Sani Diarra on the left of your screen, and Siddiq Adams on the right of your screen. Ibrahim, Abochi Ayade.
Hello, Paul. Yakake Senior.
Siddiq Adams, good evening. I hope you are feeling better.
Yes, it's a bit better now, Paul.
Well, I was discussing with Songo that should I speak to Ibrahim Sani first because he is official? Then I come to Siddiq, then I come to him. He said, no. Let me start with fire. Let me start with fire. So let Songo start. Songo. So where are we? Where are we today in Ghana football?
Well, where we are now, we have to get a new coach. That's what
we're speaking to you as well. But are we in crisis? Are we good? Are we halfway? What is it?
Yeah, we are not in crisis, but maybe a very tight corner. But we have to make sure we can get ourselves away from it.
Is it too late? Was it too late to?
Yeah.
Too late.
It was long overdue to at least change the coach, or maybe for now we need a coach that with a word like somebody who can manage the team, will be the face of the team. Some will be the face of Black Stars as a now they call World Cup, because I mean, situation here, woman, we don't have much time.
GFA President Keto Kriko say he doesn't regret working with Otto Addo and choosing him over others. What is that seminar? Who is saying?
That's him. So no opinion.
But he's the decision maker.
Well, I mean, he's not the only decision maker. He's the head. Yeah, and what has happened? At the end of the day, you understand? At the end of the day, me Black Stars coach, the winning percentages somewhere 30%, 33% there, or 33 point something percent there. I mean, we what has happened to the Black Stars now? Where are we now? Black Stars football. They say a conform. We instead of say or see a quay and a form. You understand? So only opinion, only the no feel say be still a bit me here, even when we were not able to qualify for the AFCON. Where that was the baby I know see Gina to be able to change the coach and move forward. But still they kept faith with the coach and like, oh, yeah, they never qualifies in the World Cup in the Quambia, so on in the and yes, we qualified for the World Cup, but how well was the Black Stars? You understand? I mean, how well are we playing? Your game, a calling him and I say calling him. Where Black Stars we are, maybe a 1 year Africa ranking, top 10, we are not part of it. Now FIFA ranking, where are we? We are going down and going down. So it tells you, say, Black Stars not calling him. And it's a fact. Recent 2 friendly matches, you can say yes. It's like we are just calling players and we are just playing. So we needed to act. But, there's nothing too late. It's a matter of getting somebody obit me the face of Black Stars, obit me, I am more professional, obit me, who say, Black Stars is playing exciting football, Black Stars, obit me, I shock the word, with just few, like I said, World Cup, we've gotten rid of our coach. Understand? So it's all about we getting the right person to lead Black Stars to the World Cup. For now, that's what we have to do. But if you tell me that Otto, you don't regret, choosing Otto over most of the coaches, or not say any other coach. That is his opinion. That's what I'm saying. But the results, at the end of the day, it's the result that tells. The final thing is about results. And what was the result from Otto Addo? It wasn't the best for Black Stars. And we are not seeing Black Stars as the way we want to see Black Stars. How they perform and, that winning mentality of Black Stars, it is not there. You understand? It's long overdue because Black Stars are more than 44 years now. Black Stars can't even, get to the semi-finals of African Cup AFCON. And it's so bad. It's not bad. And you're good in Farmer Ghana football. The way we spend our Black Stars, we should get results. We should get something. We are not getting anything. There's a lot of, even this World Cup, about $30 million we are looking for. FIFA money, the taxpayers' money, are buying the government there, or they my Black Stars, fundraising. I can see a course. Then all of a sudden, these 2 friendly matches, now a test spirit in the society. You understand? But it's because as a nation, we saw it. You're doing the qualifiers, your ball. It wasn't really the best. It wasn't exciting. And yet Black Stars, no. We have to force our way to qualify for the World Cup. Yes, if you watch Black Stars, this is not Black Stars. I name Imrebi. And where we started, by now we also think you drew, baby. Also think of Black Stars, it drew, baby. You understand? So it's a matter of we putting our odds together and making sure, say, we will take the right decision by getting a good coach. Then we go to the World Cup and perform, because we are not going there just to, add up to numbers. We have to go there and participate and make sure that we do well, and we also fight for the trophy. That is what we have to do. I don't share that notion where people would come to say that, any realistic, say Black Stars will go to the World Cup and go to the finals or go and win the cup. So what are we going there for? What are we going there for? Are we just going there to add up to numbers? No, that's not it.
I'll come back to you. Let me go to Siddiq Adams. And Siddiq, I'm coming to you because you wrote a post and you were quite surprised that we were reproducing your old post. And you were surprised that Otuado was chosen in the first place because the FA's own criteria for the coach, he had breached it by not being able to qualify for AFCON. And that really shocked you. Do you have the confidence in the same group of FA to select a new coach, or do you get a sense that the new coach is coming from government? Is government going to do it, or the FA group is going to do it?
Well, thank you very much, Paul. I do not have the confidence in any group of people who constitute themselves as an ad hoc committee to bring in a new coach for the Black Stars. I do not have any confidence in them because of the background to the series of appointments they've made and the shocking results, performances that these coaches have chalked, and the way the Football Association has turned out to sack these coaches, pay compensations to them, and behave as if the appointments were made by people outside their group. For instance, the appointment of Milovan Rayewak was way out of order. It was outrightly out of order. A coach who had not managed a national team for over 2 years, who had been sacked in 2 or 3 roles for national teams and clubs without going beyond 3 months. It was clear that his 2010 exercise with the Black Stars, or escapade, had gone on for him, and there was nothing prosperous with his career. They went in for CK Akono. It was a remarkable disaster of an appointment, sacking Kwesi Appiah, sacking Ibrahim Tanko, bringing in CK Akono at a time where CK Akono was the 3rd or 2nd assistant. It was a spectacular disaster. Then they brought in Otuado for the first time as an interim manager, played 2 games, fantastic games against Nigeria for the 2022 World Cup qualification campaign, and matches against Nigeria, matches involving Ghana, Nigeria, is like Kotoko and Hearts of Oak. Form doesn't count. It will be very difficult for any country to go into a game with their arch rivals, and then the results will be based on who has form. We clearly saw in those games, managed very well by Otuado, but that doesn't determine the quality of Otuado or the top notch of a coach going into such a clash. Otuado's second coming, to me, it's something that you will never believe as a football fan, as a fanatic, or even as a sports analyst. First of all, they set a 5-pronged criteria to bring in a coach. The criteria was that the coach was going to be a proven winner. The coach was going to be a coach who has managed at the national or international level for 15 years with top national teams or clubs. A coach who had an identity of managing football at the highest level. And all these you put the criteria on table and say they are going for Jose Mourinho or Sir Alex Ferguson at best. And Paul, they ended up with Otuado, who had no experience, who had never managed international clubs at that level and did not have 15 years of experience. I do not remember any of the criteria that they set that the Otuado, qualified for that role. So it means that after setting the criteria of going to bring in a coach of the caliber of Sir Alex, they brought Otuado after a manhunt. And Otuado failed to qualify for the African Cup of Nations, which was his initial mandate. And to me, the most important mandate for Otuado was to qualify Ghana for the African Cup of Nations, which was expected to be a mere formality. because we had qualified for the African Cup of Nations at every edition since 2004, when we failed to qualify, losing to Rwanda in Kigali. For the first time in 20 years, we failed to qualify for the AFCON. And not only that, we failed to win a single game. The first time this has happened to Ghana since there was 63 years of football or joining FIFA and CAF. Never have we ever played qualifiers and not win a single game and ultimately not qualify for the African Cup of Nations. So it was the most disastrous African Cup of Nations campaign we've had. The coach was given a vote of confidence. There was a sign of approval, overwhelming sign of approval by the Football Association that the coach has a quality enough to lead the team into the World Cup. And just few months ago, Paul, it is most shocking that the Football Association brought in 6 new managers, 6 new coaches to beef up or augment, like they put it, the technical team to help support Otuado at the World Cup. So it means that they were very well settled on who was taking the national team into the World Cup. Because to be able to bring in 5 new coaches to augment the coach who was going to the World Cup, you have first of all admitted that the quality of the team is not up there, but you want to support him with pillars or build foundations around him. And these shocks absorbers were going to be the procedural approach that we take into the World Cup. You have a procedure where coaches are making the suggestions, some of them are doing the analysis, and Otuado will just be the head coach who leads the team into selection and other things. Just few months ago, you brought new coaches to augment the team. Now you have sacked Otuado with less than 70 days to the World Cup. You are bringing in a new coach who will not have the privilege and opportunity of playing a single game before he names his World Cup squad. And you cannot be taking decisions like that, paying compensation. This is entirely different from managing Dreams FC and Kotoko. This is a national team. And so when the consequence, or this has been the series, spectacular failure of appointment after appointment, it cannot be the order of the day. And I cannot have confidence in a group of people who continue to make terrible appointments, and you repose confidence in them to bring in a new coach. Why would they now go in for a top coach, knowing that they have, I heard the Ghana Football Association president, I read from him saying they are now going for a top-notch coach, a coach who is, so they are now going to, reinvent the wheel and go back to the criteria they set before the appointment of Otuado. So it means that despite qualifying for the World Cup, he was a complete waste of time the whole period.
Well, you are painting quite a gloom picture for the future, the immediate future going into the World Cup. First of all, you don't think that this group of people will make a good appointment. That means Ghanaians should sort of forget about any joy from the 2026 World Cup.
Well, it's too short a time to have a coach come in and build. Paul, to lose 5 against Austria, lose to Germany under the circumstances that we lost, definitely the team's confidence will take a very big toll, a very big blow. If you know about football very well, as you do, Paul, to lose under those circumstances humiliatingly going into the World Cup is going to take a very big toll on the confidence of the team. So the coach who comes in will have to take weeks building the confidence of the players. There's an opportunity, very young squad, but how many weeks do you need to build the confidence and revitalize the team before they get into the next friendly games? The most significant thing about the whole thing, Paul, is that if Otuado had built a structure, the Ghana national team as it exists today has no identifiable structure. That's the most significant thing that we all lose sight of. To go into the World Cup, you may have the quality of players. You may have top players in form. Have your Semenyos, have your Mohamed Kudusus, and have your Inaki Williams. Without a structure, you will be punished by South Korea and Panama at the World Cup, people who have organization. How long does it take to build a structure? A coach will have to take over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games to build an identifiable tactical structure, an identity. At this point, you do not know what the technical identity of the Black Stars is. Are they possessive? Are they a counter-attacking team? Are they a defensive team? you never know what the players are on the pitch. They are just going about the pitch haphazardly in a very disorderly manner. You watch the Black Stars and you tend to be surprised that are these the same players who have higher value at clubs in England and France? So you do not have a tactical identity now. In 2010, you could see that Milovan Rajevac would tell the players, you have to recover possession 3 to 5 seconds after losing it. And so all the young players are running. You lose possession, and even the senior players are if you do not run and you are Muntari, you'll be on the bench. If you are Lai Kingston and we think that you cannot run to recover possession, you will be on the bench. You cannot see that with Tuado's team. No identity. They just walk onto the field, decide to defend from the first minute until they concede the goal, they open up. You do not know whether they are attacking, whether they are defending. And I have nothing against Tuado. From the day he was appointed, we had said, and Countryman Songo will bear me, that the appointment was wrong on all fronts because even the criteria that they have set for themselves, he never met one out of the 5 criteria. So, Paul, I don't think that the time is right to find a coach. And the coach might, even if it is Joachim Low or whoever, he will need a lot of time to rebuild confidence and tactical identity.
Let me come to Ibrahim Sane, but Songo wants to chip in. Songo, what do you want to say?
It's not just about inviting players, as Sadiq said. It's not just about inviting players. It's about the system behind the players. The system behind the players and how the team can gel, how the team can produce results. So it's not just about you have a coach and you are just, inviting players to come and play for the national team. But it's about the system behind. And the coach didn't have any system. There were no system of play for Black Stars. So that was a big problem for Black Stars, and now it's a big problem for Black Stars because that is why I'm saying that you would need somebody who would come in with that big personality, so to be able to at least take us to the World Cup for us to at least perform. Yeah.
Ibrahim Sane, let me come to you now. So you know the system, you know the Confederation of African Football, you know the football system. What is going to determine the coach? Is it by recommendation in this short time? How does it work? Are you going to call somebody, say, recommend a coach for us? Are they going to ask you, Ibrahim Sane, that speaks to this Moroccan coach for us? How does it work?
Well, given the time we have before the World Cup, we have just about 70 days. Here in the UK, it's already Friday, so we have 70 days to go to the World Cup. You have no time. There's no need to go through any criteria. There's no meaningful national team in the world today that sets criteria before appointing its coaches. You just go, you have a target man you want to speak with, or a coach of certain caliber you want to speak with. You approach the person, tells you your vision, you negotiate the price, you announce the coach. There's no need to go through that laborious process. If we say we are going to go through CVs to appoint a coach, it will perhaps take 1 month. That leaves you with just about 30 days, and you don't have your players in camp anyway. So that's a difficulty. And the difficulty I've always been an ardent believer in Otto Addo. I think we needed to be patient with him, with the way things had gone. I thought they should have been more patient. We didn't have a lot of time. And most importantly, we should have looked at the quality of materials we have. From the last World Cup, for example, if you look at the trajectory of our players, from our goalkeepers to our defenders to our attackers, very, very few of our players have gone a step further in their career. Number 1, it's Kudus. Number 2, it's Semenyo. But count from the goalkeeper to everybody on the pitch. Somehow they have retrogressed. From Jiku, where was he playing? He was at Strasbourg. He went to Fenerbahce. Now he's in Russia. Ask about all the other players, be it Alidu, Seidu, be it Salisu, be it Salis. all of them had retrogressed. A lot of them, Salisu was playing in Southampton. Today, where is he? He's in Monaco. You'd have expected that in the English Premier League, maybe he had gone to the next stage. So we need to look at the entirety of our squad. Would a coach be able to pull off the magic? I think that the FA had gambled, and it's a difficult gamble. Just hoping that it will just pay off. Joachim Low, one of my websites or my news companies, just broke the news about Joachim Low. Yes, it is true. The FA has gone very far in talks with Joachim Low. And if he takes the job, yes, he's a good coach. He's proven he's a World Cup winner. He's done a lot for the German national team, has stayed there for some time, but it will take some time for him to be able to settle, and that would be a real difficulty. Another thing would also be how much would Ghana be able to afford, even with $40,000-$50,000 per month. The country was going hoo-ha about the amount of money being spent. Joachim Low will be somewhere in the upwards of $100,000 per month. Some might even say 150,000. Is this something that Ghanaians would accept? These are the mental gymnastics, and I would have preferred, a more patient approach to how we approach this. But as we look forward, let's just hope for the best. If it is Joachim Low, the FA has agreed on, if it is headhunting, they have their man. Let them pick him and let him hit the ground running for us to have any chance at all. Staying with Otoado would be a gamble, but appointing a new coach will be a bigger gamble. But I just hope that it works out.
What about Kwesi Appiah? Everybody is talking about Kwesi Appiah, that he should be the natural choice. No need. You talked about money a little bit. You talked about connection with the players. Joachim Low does not speak Ghana, doesn't speak Twi. He may speak English, but I mean, they don't have to develop the body language, the commandery, the social things must be developed very quickly. That's going to take a while. That's making the work longer. Kwesi Appiah walks into it, and that's it. No, it doesn't have to build any social capital with the players. He already has it. So shouldn't that be the obvious choice, Kwesi Appiah?
I think so. In fact, that was my first thinking, that it would have been the easiest bit and the safest. Because number one, he ticks a lot of boxes. He knows the players already. He's worked with a lot of them already. He knows the psychology of the team, knows Africa very well, has been to the World Cup and done well and all of that. I would have thought that it would have been the obvious choice. But remember, that apart, some people might also raise an issue of a conflict of interest situation. He's a member of the executive committee. So it's the same body that takes the decisions to hire and fire a coach. Would it be the same, person appointing the coach and be the same person appointing himself? So these are some of the gymnastics. I don't understand, or I've not had an understanding why, the FA opted to speak with Joachim Low instead of Kwesi Appiah. But I would have thought that he would have been in the mix of things. We've had a situation where, for example, he's been asked to step aside from his role to be able to take charge of the Ghana-Sudan game. An arrangement like that could have been had, but it looks like we want to do something different. But I would have thought that would have been our safest bet. Of all the gambles we've made, this Kwesi Appiah would have been the safest of the gambles.
What about Javier Reina? His name has come up. They say it's very expensive, but
Yes, I'm very, very close to the Saudi Football Federation. I do a lot of consultancy work for them. Just yesterday, I had a very phone call from one big Saudi Arabia federation official, and he was really asking me whether it's true that we are interested in him. But the truth is also that it will also boil down to money. He's a proven winner. He loves Ghana. He thinks that Ghana is one unticked box in his football career because he coached us. he left and he desperately wants to come back to coach Ghana. But would we be able to afford what the Saudis are paying him? That is a great difficulty. He's taking upwards of $400,000 to $500,000 per month. Would Ghana be able to afford it? Even with 40,000, our media is shouting, "Why do you have to pay a coach this amount of money?" If you want to play international football and be at that level, we should be able to pay. Would Renard be willing to drop his financial demands to the point that he will beat the Ghanaian demands? It will be difficult, especially in a terrain where he's also wanted by other clubs, other countries, and all of that. So that would be a very, very difficult picking for us. If we can afford it, perhaps it would be a very wise choice, not just for the day-to-day, but also for the future.
Let me do one last round of conversation. So I'll be coming to you, Siddiq Adams, on the issue about the players to invite at this stage where we are now. Whether the case of Nketiah and Hansen Odoi and all those is beginning to make look like reality, that we are in crisis, therefore we might need these players. Looking at the games we saw and the quality of the play, are we desperate now for it? But Songo, you wanted to make a comment on Ibrahim Sani said the players from the last World Cup, if you watch, they went down. And I got some examples. Tariq Lamptey, for instance, he was playing very well for Brighton. He's not there anymore. They say he's gone to Italy. So it's making the point that our players' quality has gone down. Why do you blame Otto Addo?
Listen, if the system is not actively tracking Ghanaian players, they are not tracking Ghanaian players very well, how would you get good players? Better than when you're good players. You won't get it.
No, he's saying that ball 2022 World Cup, perform. That's what he's saying.
But I'm saying that the system should be tracking players. You can't only just put your eyes on only just one or two players. No. We Ghana, we have talent. Your talent in the local league. You can't only just rely on the foreign-based players, Ghanaian players that they are born outside. You can't just rely on them. We have Ghanaians who are also playing even in the African leagues. Tanzania, South Africa, Morocco, Egypt, the Egyptian league. They are Ghanaians who are playing there. And they are doing very well. And the whole Ghana local league. Why are they not taking care of the local league very well? Why are they not giving attention to the local league very well? You claim the local league is your property. Uber fair players to the Black Stars, you won't get at least 3, 4, 5 local players even there. So why are you running the local league? So you can't just rely on, say, these players are World Cup. So these are the same players that we are looking up to them, say they will go to the next World Cup, they will go to the next AFCON. No. I mean, yes, but the talents are many. We have plenty players, talent in Ghana. It's just that they are not searching. And I said they are not doing proper scouting. That is what we need to tell them. That is all. They are not doing proper selection, proper scouting. There are many players. We have the talent here. But you can't just rely on players who are born outside the country, thinking that because the good facilities are there and, Hoya Bruchiri, so these are the players that can only play for Black Stars. That is not it. In the past, when Black Stars are, Sheila Eliasu was playing, the great Samuel Osei-Kuffour was sitting on bench. Yes, Samuel Kuffour sat on bench. When Sheila Eliasu was playing, Sheila Eliasu was a local player. Habib Muhammad was a local player. He was playing. Adukwe Papo was on the bench. Papo was a foreign-based player. You understand? So, I mean, you need to do proper scouting.
Dramani, who scored the winning goal?
Dramani. Yes.
He was a local player.
He was a local
Which club
player.
was he playing for?
He was at Heart of Lions.
He scored the winning goal against the United States in
how did he
the
get
World Cup game, yeah.
Meaning, so
and he was a local player.
So say local league here. And who say the talent in the Ghana, yeah. and won't get to this far or this level. So you can't just rely on players say, "Oh, Marco World Cup." So you think they have done quite well.
You say that since the World Cup, their standard has gone down.
And that is why I'm saying that we
are relying on.
how do you rely on these same players? How do you rely on Oli Paula? How do you? That is it. You have to open up. Proper scouting. That is what I'm saying. So you can scout for you tracking players very well. You are not just tracking some individuals. And then you tracking. You just say you give chance to players whether Obianas or Nibi.
So there may be a Ghanaian player in Norway, but
they are not giving Ghanaian players the chance. Some Ghanaian players, they are not giving them the chance. You understand? When they have
that's what new, though, in the politics of football. We talked about Harrison Affle many years ago. He even went up to become the African player.
When they are not when they don't have any affiliation with you, or when they are not managing you, they just don't want to give you the chance.
So you are talking about nepotism
and those things have to.
That's long term. Now we are talking about World Cup. It's 70 days away. We are trying to see what we should think and how we should behave, and what kind of emotional sentiments we should hold for the World Cup. What you are saying is long term. So let me go and ask about the players now.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so by, a man is swing, and a sansu mama hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Looking for comfort, convenience, and class all in one place? Welcome to Stay Easy Apartments on Conference Center, where modern living meets exceptional service. Whether you're staying for business or leisure, Stay Easy offers you a home away from home. Spacious and well-furnished apartments, pool, gym, and everything you need to relax and feel at ease. Planning a meeting, workshop, or special event? Our event ground and state-of-the-art conference center is designed to host your events and bring your vision to life. From corporate gatherings to private functions, we provide the perfect space, supported by modern equipment and a professional team ready to assist you. At Stay Easy, your comfort and success are our priority. Book your stay or reserve your space today. Call us at 020-739-1473 or 0244-226367. Stay Easy Apartments and Conference Center. Stay easy with us.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes to one.
Too much, sir!
That's who goal is for.
What
After 5 Champions League,
You want to know?
I be the real goat. Chairman. I be the real goat. The left magician. The left magician.
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigeria Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
Brother Shift, you two the lie, eh? Now the same stew when they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top.
Hey! You are lying. Ghana Jollof.
Are you busy? Forget everybody, yeah? My guy. Put some respect on the goat.
On the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tama.
Every year we dey give to you back. We are talking about PET. I want some Yadia face. Except be the goat, huh?
My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomobitus always brings us together.
and Lumo. Experience greatness in every moment. Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18. Not recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Siddiq Adams, given where we are now in terms of player calls, whichever coach we bring in, if it's not a Christy Appiah, it's not a Michael Essien, because some people have brought a theory up that use Michael Essien and Sule Muntari to assist. If it's not these people who can work and know the system, whoever is coming in will have to rely on advice to name is it 42 or 28 that the World Cup allows? He has to rely on advice to name that. So now, is it, and whoever it is, once he's a football person in Europe, he will most likely have seen Nketiah play, or it's easy to check who he is, and very easy to check who Hansen Odoi is. Is it time for us to concede that these players may be part of the team? I don't know whether Nketiah's injury is ready and he's playing again. I'm not sure about that because he was injured. But assuming he's okay, how does that situation play out in these circumstances?
Yeah, Paul, I think it's a quick fix decision, or that's a quick fix solution to bring in Nketiah and Kalum Hassan-Odoi and the others, because I think there is also Kamal Sowa, because we are under pressure and we are in crisis. I am completely opposed to the idea of bringing these players, and not because they are not good, or not because, but I hold the conviction that these players are not. The decision should not be around bringing players to fix the solution in the interim. We need to play well at the World Cup. It's the decision for the coach, but I am opposed in the sense that this is what we have consistently done over the years, and this is the consequence of that. You do not have a squad, and Sani makes a very remarkable point. And if we want to invite players, we have to go in for the ones that have played the qualifiers. Their form is not in tune. Most of them are not on top form. Some of them are injured. That's right. But to bring in Kalum Hassan-Odoi and Nketiah and people who have rejected the national team blatantly in the past, waiting for opportunity to play for their desired, or where they think that there is a design for them to fall in a top European team or to play for the English national team, and that plan hasn't worked. I don't think that because of the crisis we are in, the country should chip in itself. Not chip in the sense that we now desperately need them, but we can go to the World Cup without them. And that will set the tone for every player to respect Ghana when Ghana comes calling. If they want to play for Ghana, they should be able to play for Ghana in friendly games on the African continent. They should be able to play for Ghana in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. They should play in Maseru against Lesotho. They should play in Yaoundé. They should play in all the tattered pitches that have led us to the World Cup. I do not agree for anybody to go calling the players we have chased for some of them for over a decade and who have refused to play for the national team. And to end on this, Paul, Sani says that the players have dipped in form from the last World Cup. And this is very normal with many of the national teams. Watch the German national team and see the new players that have been introduced. Watch all the national teams. It is a practice with most national teams. You are only lucky for a period of 8 to 10 years to have your players, core players, consistently playing at the highest level. But Paul, Ghana has had a blueprint from the 60s to 70s to 80s. And in recent times, at the turn of the millennium, Paul, Ghana's blueprint is that of all the time that we've had our players who have played in top international tournaments having their forms dip, there is a reserve or there is a stand-in team from the under-20s or under-17s where 7 or 8 of them will be shipped in. And a classic example is the 2002 African Cup of Nations where we failed in Mali. And immediately after that, the under-20 team had gone to Argentina. The Derek Boateng, John Mensah, John Pinto, Adukwe Papo, Razak Ibrahim. And that is where we formed the core of our team that played consistently for over 15 years, the Sule Muntari. So you have a solid under-20 team at all times. This has been Ghana's blueprint. We built a team of these young players from the 2001 World Youth Championship, where Michael Essien John Mensah and the players I've mentioned played and were transitioned into the Black Stars when the likes of Sabe Kofo and others were not in top shape. And they went on to play for the Black Stars, qualified the Black Stars, and played consistently in like 4 African Cup of Nations tournaments. Talk about the 2010 World Cup. When most of these players I mentioned had their forms dipping, then you had a very solid under-20 team who transitioned and blocked into the Black Stars. The likes of Dominic Adia, Andre Ayew was benching Sule Muntari, who had earlier also come into bench. So it is what the Black Stars have been doing. In the last 15 or 10 years, mention a solid Ghana under-20 team. We can't even compete. It's become a business venture. Ghana doesn't have a remarkable under-20 team again. This has been our forte for all these years. Our strength on the continent and in the world has been under-20, under-17. Ghana transitions players and block. So right now you don't have Tariq Lamptey. It would have been very possible to have a very good under-20 right-back player, just like we shipped in players into that team, Samuel Nkrumah and co. So if you don't have a good left-back whose form has dipped, you have a player who has played in the under-20 African Championship, who is known, who has developed the Ghanaian culture of playing, shaped into the team. We don't have under-20. We don't have an under-17. The conversation has been around the Black Stars. Our football is in complete reverse because it's an inverted pyramid. The conversation is about the Black Stars. And we have forgotten that for many years, when we have top players having their forms dip, we rely on our under-20, the youth teams. Right now, you are going into a World Cup. The conversation is that we don't have top players. Where is the reserve? Where is the youth team? This is what you have consistently done to build your national teams. Why don't we have a very identifiable under-20 team where we can call 4 players, just 4? We used to transition 12, 13, 14 players from our under-17, under-20 to the Black Stars. Right now, we do not have. So the conversation should be about how we get players getting into the Black Stars when those who played in the previous tournament do not have the requisite form to play. We have lost that conversation, and we have to come back to building a very good under-20 from domestic league. And also, Andre Ayew and all these players were products of under-20. Why do they come on to play for years? And now we are going around chasing Kalum Hassan-Odoi. We are going around chasing Tariq Lamptey. We are going around chasing players who have never played for the national team at any level at all. You bring them into the World Cup, they play 4-3 games, they go off, they don't want to come and play in qualifiers. Meanwhile, you have a very good team. You used to have very solid reserve or backup for the Black Stars. And this is what we have consistently done since the 60s, where we had the academicals and all that. Paul, you are very well versed in this. Why are we not asking questions about the under-20 team that used to be the backup for the Black Stars? Anytime there is a player whose form has dipped, you can recollect and go back and say there is a good under-20 player who can, transition. Daniel Opari and all those players were from under-17, under-20. We don't have any group of players that we can rely on, both local and international. We don't. Everything is about the Black Stars. $30 million, $40 million. Let's invest in Black Stars. Let's send supporters. But we forget that we don't have players. And we forget that there should be a foundation from which these players will compete adequately at the international tournament. We prepare and put money, $50 million, $30 million, go to the World Cup 3 weeks, come back, and not have a team that we built from under-17, under-20. No Ghanaian today can mention 2 key players from the under-20 team we've had. They don't even qualify for tournaments, and we don't care. We just jump on the flight, business class, go to Denmark, go to France, look for players who have names, Lucasen, and we don't want to invest. Every nation is investing in their grassroots, investing in the junior championships, investing in players who will transition into their national teams. We are not. We are jumping on flight and going to Germany, going to Europe, searching for players who have names and who have Ghanaian descent. That is not running football. That is not running football, Paul. We are going to struggle at the World Cup. When we come back, we will not have an under-20 team to replace the score because there is not even an under-17 team that we can hit our chest and rely on. But this used to be the Ghanaian identity in the past. Why are we talking about players not having form? Where are the players that we have built home, strong, under 20, 17-year-olds? We call 100 players into the Ghanaian under 15. We did that in 2019. We called over 100 players to build an under 15 team. How many years now? 7 years. They would have been 21 ready to play for the Black Stars. Not even a single one, not even a single player from that under 15 team that we called in 2019 to build to form the nucleus of our junior championships was able to transition. This is how you measure the strength of your football. Paul, today we are 17th, 74 on FIFA ranking, 74th. When Mr. Nyantechi took over the Football Association after that chaotic transition from Nyahota Maklo, when Kwesi Nyantechi took over in August 2004, that was the lowest we had ever gotten in our football. We were 70th. Today we are 74th. At that point in time, we were 12 on the FIFA ranking. The Black Stars cannot win games because you go around chasing players. Jiku is from here. You put them together like you are preparing soup with crabs. You just pick them. No, there is no culture in the team. We used to be a team. So let nobody talk about players not having form. It is not my responsibility to go and scout. You can cast your net as wide as you can, Paul. But if you cast the net into an empty sea, you catch no fish. Go around scouting. Who are you scouting for? You are scouting for players who have been rejected by the European team. They will not build a player and give the quality ones to Ghana. Unless, and of course, the players have been rejected. And so you are going to take on those who do not make the pecking order for the top teams that you are going to compete against. If Edin Ketia was quality enough, I'm not saying he's bad, England will not let him for Ghana because they've invested in him. Why can't we invest like your predecessors invested in the under-20 championship that built Banahene, that built Muntari, that built John Pencil from Brekum, that built Ajeman Bedu, that built, all these players from the under-20, from even championship in schools. We don't do that. Conversation is Black Stars, 30 million, World Cup, go and blow, come back. Where is your under-20 team to transition to the next Black Stars? You have zilch. It is not running football. Nobody can go around searching for players in Europe.
I think you made a very, very, very interesting, controversial point as well. And you attribute corruption to this state of affairs, don't you?
Of course, this has been the cry of most sports journalists because they are quality players in Ghana, but they don't play for the national team. Before you get a player to play very well for your national team, the player must have developed a culture of playing for the nation, how they react when we lose games. Paul, when Morocco lost the AFCON final to the Penenka penalty by Diaz, you know what happened? There were fans who were commending him. There were fans sending love. We don't do that in Ghana. Our culture is different. The players must develop that from the grassroots, from the under 17. They lose, they know how Ghanaians react so that they don't go on TikTok after they lose games when Ghanaians are crying. Because they don't have the affinity, they don't have the bond. You go and pick them. The corruption in there is that you are picking players who are not quality enough. But because they have affiliation or they have association with clubs that are managed by people who run the FA, want to sell these players and make private money, the players will be called. At the end of the day, they cannot play for the national team because they are not quality enough. But they got into the national team only because they have an association. This is common knowledge. Why is it that the players in your national team now, most of them did not play for your under 17, under 20, but they played for North Zealand. They played for Right to Dream. So it means that Right to Dream are picking the quality players and they will not give it to the national team to play. You have a football camp in Pram Pram, but you cannot build a very good under 15, under 17 team from where in the next 4 years you get at least 4 players to transition. So you can only attribute this to mismanagement, maladministration, and corruption. Because if you have quality players in Ghana, why do they go to Europe to excel when they have not played for your junior national teams. Michael Essien played for under 70. In fact, Paul, Michael Essien played for Ghana under 12. Like say Michael Essien, John Mensah, they played for a Ghana under 12 team. Because you identify them early on and they built that culture for the years that they play. When they lose, you feel that they understand the Ghanaianism of football. Unlike Inaki Williams, no issues with him. But this is something you cannot throw away. Football is not just about going. So we should start calling quality players who are playing in the trenches, in the villages, who have no association with football people, who have no association with top executives, who have clubs and who have influence over coaches, who select their players into the national team. These players go on and not even qualify to play in Europe because they are not quality enough. But those who don't go through the system, who are identified by private scouts, go on to compete at the top level. Mohamed Kudus is the only player who has played for the Ghana under-17 team in this current squad. And maybe Atizigi was also there in India. Apart from that, none of them has featured for Ghana's junior team. If you have 50 players and only 2 have come out as a result of your product, and Mohamed Kudus cannot be said to be a production of the FA. He's a production of Right to Dream. They identified him. You have coaches in Ghana, you cannot identify players from the trenches, from the inter-schools. Afanajan and Co. were inter-school players, but they didn't play for Ghana under 17.
That's very controversial. Let me come to you, Ibrahim Sani, and also the same question. Given the situation that we are in, we have 70 days to go to the World Cup. Our technical bench looks like it's in ruins. If we get Kwesi Appiah, he can fill some gap. But essentially, our player selection is really limited. We can't scout now. We have to pick up players who are willing to wear the Ghanaian jersey and go to the World Cup. The cards that we have as a nation is that we are in the World Cup. And that's the bait that we are giving to a player that we think is a quid pro quo. You have never played for the World Cup. You are not going to play in the World Cup. We have the World Cup. Come and wear the jersey and play for us, because we need to show face and do well. We need to beat Panama. We need to get a fighting chance against England. And today somebody was telling me we need to reduce the goal scoring against Croatia. But no, we need to beat Croatia as well. So really, is it time to say that let's swallow our pride? Nketia, Hansen Odoi, please come on board.
No, I don't. This is where I would agree with Sadiq that I don't buy into that idea. That it's just like, a woman you've been trying to woo for many years. She's looked down upon you for many years. Just because you've made $1 million, she turns up, I'm available to you. As a country, Ghana is not a club side. As a country, we must have pride. People who play for the country. This is a country. It's not a club side. People who play for the country must have love to play for the country. When we lose, they feel the pulse of the nation. When a country loses a football match, so you find very often that a lot of these mercenaristic players would come along just because they want the World Cup. When we lose football matches and we are mourning, we can't eat. We are angry at home. We are angry at our partners. We are angry. The man is angry at the wife. The wife doesn't even want to see a television set again. A footballer doesn't care. He'll just put his head counts on, to hell with Ghanaians and whatever you say. We don't want those types of players. Even if it even takes us to go to the World Cup and lose, we know that we lost with dignity, with our dignity intact. We know that we went there, we did our best, but our best was not enough. Let's not go with people that are opportunistic, that will take advantage of the situation that we've just qualified for the World Cup. And when you call them subsequently, they give you all sorts of excuses when you are to play in DR Congo or in Chad, where in the hinterland of Africa somewhere where the terrain is difficult, that person won't turn up for us, won't matter, won't fill the pulse when Ghanaians are hurting. We don't need those type of players, in my opinion. We need players who feel the pulse of of the nation who would come and give off their best, who would put in their legs in for tackles. That would save the nation. During the qualifiers that we failed to qualify for the AFCON, the recent AFCON, I saw a lot of it. Against some of the teams, even in Accra. We'll just lose the ball and somebody's just walking as if there's nothing at stake. It's the consequence of bringing in opportunistic players. Let's bring in players that are committed from day one. We've seen it. A lot of the teams. At the recent African Cup of Nations, I was assigned to the group where Senegal was based. And you can clearly see it. Ibrahim Mbaye, for example, is a prime candidate for the French national team. But at the age of 17, he decided he's playing for PSG. He knows by all means that in 2-4 years he will play for the French national team, but decides he wants to play for Senegal. That is a patriot, but not players who, told you, no, I don't need you. Now they are above 26, they are gone past their prime. Now I feel like I'm Ghanaian. We don't need them. Let's make do with what we have. The players we have, let's patch things up. Let's also put them under some level of pressure. Let them also step up to the plate. Those that we have, those that played in the qualifiers, let's select the best amongst them and let's give them a shot at the World Cup. I'm sure that they'll give off their best. In the worst case scenario, it is possible we can win one match, perhaps two matches, and we might get into the knockout stages. It is possible, but let's give the support. Let's put the current players now under pressure for them to deliver. And I'm confident that if they live up to the billing, up to the form we expect them, and they are serious enough, they would be able to deliver something for us. But for the players that want to play for Ghana, who rejected us several times, they should wait after we finish with the World Cup. We can start afresh on a fresh plate in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. That will truly judge their loyalty to the country. But for now, we've called a pool of players over the past 2-3 years for the qualifiers. Let's pick the best amongst them and let's take them to the World Cup.
Well, thank you very much. Let me wrap up now with Countryman Songo. Countryman Songo, what is your take on this matter? You had Ibrahim Sani and Sidik Adams were very similar in their conversation. Sidik Adams also agreed with you that the Black Stars needs to spread out and look for players from all angles and build new team. Listening to him, it really struck me. I've not noticed it. But yeah, we don't have an under-20 anymore. We used to enjoy under-20 World Cup all the time. Ghana was automatic. Yeah. Year after year. I think they played every 2 years or something like that. Yeah. Year after year, we knew that under-20 World Cup. 17 started, went down a little bit. Under-20 was always there. African Cup of Nations under-20. When Professor Mills came, we won one. Yeah. Then we won the under-20 World Cup. Emmanuel Duya, we remember him from under-20 World Cup. He played Augustin Ahimfo from under-20 World Cup. That's where we know them, even before they came to play for the Black Stars. That part of Ghana's football is completely vanished. Yeah. And nobody was watching.
That is why I'm saying that proper scouting. They are not doing proper scouting.
No, he's talking about corruption and favoritism.
Yeah, that is it. If you're not doing proper scouting, you go out there and you see a player that maybe you are not the one managing and you don't want to call the player.
But do we not have an automatic progression from inter-schools, inter-regionals, supers? Ajiman Bedu and Co came from Bonohafo region.
That is what
we didn't even know them.
Yes, I'm saying.
But they were picked from there.
Yes, I'm saying that is what is needed.
But that's why there's RFAs. There's regional FA in every region.
They are not going even according to their plan. When they put the football people, when they put out their plan, like maybe 5 years development plan or whatever, they don't stick to that. Along the line, they just divert. They do things anyhow they just want to. It is how corruption if it is that true, they need to stop because your game it's not going. So now coach only good. Just a normal coach. Psychologically, your players I mean, they won't listen to you. They can't play, they can't develop. So it's a idea. I check. Say they needed to do the right thing, but they were not. They are just not doing it. That is it. Because no one okay. Under 17, J World Cup da. Under 20, J World Cup da. But why is it that now you me even qualify and kokra? And when you are telling them they are not doing proper scouting, they are taking woman kofa, woman semfata, because they come and say woman ko scouting, woman ko monitor players, woman ko selection, and they are back. But this selection, about the various national teams now, they are not qualifying. Woman to qualify, woman ko tournament, woman grow, woman to me they are boy, and blasters. No, that is the issue here, and they have to stop it. They are big men out there. I mean, it's yemfa coach you bit manipulating. Yemfa coaches you bit me actual players because they are managing football. They think football is manage football. So they are selling players. Or they are managing players. They are paying players money. They have to also gain out of it. Even if player any average, he wants to give selection to the player to the national team. Obia oye good na on managing no, and I say player bia oye good ebia onini ni twatwa no. He doesn't want to give that player that chance. When football people, when they go into election, na ni obe win no, ni oye ni opponent no, on cash my name that whether good or bad, bit me about football.
And on you saw on
players. Yeah, because on at doing election, say be I'm person chairman, person president. It me winning. Now it's only me and my animal farm ruling. Only me and my animal kingdom. Me opponent now. On so football ni bina. On so ni me tijna no. Or your enemy to me. That is how they do. They go about it. So even that person also manage players. And even that person is the players you good grana. New opponent now, what win election. And you have that chance. It's happening. Our local league in your talent. We have players in the local league. Local league in your talent. The local boys are suffering. They want chance. They want us to give them the confidence so that they can also perform at the higher stage. But we are not giving the local boys the chance. I'm telling you, the talent is here. Talent, you know what? Talent, you know, I mean, you are talking about we have a pool of players. We should take those pool of players. We should select the best out of them. Players, we are sure only. These players that you are calling them to the national team, these blasters, against Austria, against Germany, some of these players who can't even run. Some of these players who can't even control ball and see vision to give him pass. What are you telling me? Division 1 players, Division 1 players. Bia umu and semfata. These days, football, no, talent, no prano. Ayira in a sense, when you go out there, that is the foreign world, you know. Abrochiro hono. Obia person about sikaba football, mutu obia eba eko school no, epon via wakoto boot, or the neko academy. So some of these players, you can see them say they have just learned how to play football. Obitimi to mikano akọ pitch panel. You can tell. Nediani say bi obitimi to mikano.
So omun ne skill.
What me aye cross bi amanabem. The skills no any. But when you have the chance and now when your opportunity no Ghana and that talent in your local league, you have to develop the local league very well and make sure that the talent will come out from there. They can also challenge the
talent
guys.
Is always better.
Yes, it is. And we have it.
Plenty.
Since Kwame Nkrumah, we have it. That is why Gigi, African best player. AFCON, you're 4 times. Your administrators, your coaches, crown no mujidi, ben coffee muso mujidi. African football. Mujidi pa the late Sam Dudu, Sam Adi, multi-system, by multi-system. We couldn't even follow it. Yentimi Antoaso, Coach Afrani, Yiki Afrani mo, they late. You understand? So I didn't know fear.
Maybe Malik
But
Jaber.
they are not just managing it. Yes, Malik Jaber. They are not just managing it well. They are just going into it straight up blasters. They are all out there looking for a players that are more approaching because they feel say yes, be free back. That is not the issue here. They need to sit down and do things right.
Okay.
Oh, blasters. Ask yourself, say, from Udie, CK Akono timer, winning ratio was 40%. CK Akono winning ratio was 40%. Udeba, Milovan, some 30% and those things. ABC to Adwa. Why should we do that? Why do we do that to ourselves? It didn't know say yes, sir. You ask yourself. When you know very well there are experienced coaches out there, even this Harvey Rena Obonidia Obeye, a physical instructor of Ghana, Blasters, our decor, Zambia, Utimi, Eduomu performing. Then from there, he had to come to the World Cup. Look at the lessons that or the chair Argentina, this coach, you okay in Nasabi. These are coaches I will develop here. No more order that you can go out there for them. You are talking about money. The money you spend in this country is kaketwa. One person here, both even blasters, you can take 30 million US dollars, 40 million US dollars to blasters. And what are you expecting? You are expecting a trophy, better performance, good football. Now, what time you can call on and say, coach, how would you make it? How would you make it? You don't just select players. And I'm catching on you don't just select players. You select players based on the system, based on say players no bar. They can play the system. They know what coach that is what you need to do. And they are not doing it. They are not doing. I mean, we are just throwing money. Blasters, That's why I was saying to them, say, as much as you are looking at money for blasters, have you looked at the team? This team, some of the guys, they can't make it. They are not there. They shouldn't be playing blasters. They shouldn't be getting a call up to the blasters. Some of these guys shouldn't be getting call up to the blasters. They know very well. Some big men are managing them, or maybe they have affiliation with their agents and football managers. That is why some of these guys are there. Some of these guys, they are not supposed to be there. These first division players, who told you they said they are better than these local boys? Why not catch it up?
Okay, let me get a few text messages, then we wrap up. It's nearly midnight tonight. Tomorrow is a holiday, so we're taking it easy. Last round of text messages. Fatih first. What are people saying about the football conversation?
From Tofik Abdul Mumin, it says, a brilliant submission from Sadiq Adams. Kwesi was spot on in what Sadiq highlighted. This was exactly the direction he was taking, and the Black Stars were thriving under it. Anas Armiyawanas has, however, left Ghana football in a very difficult state. Coming from Theophilus, it says, the GFA president and the other members should bow down their heads in shame. They are not fit for purpose and should be sacked from office. Ghana football is in shambles, and no wonder Hoho United have withdrawn from the league for lack of fairness. And lastly, coming from Douglas, it says the GFA was outright wrong to have engaged Otado. It was an unthoughtful decision. The such team was made up of jokers. Anziba.
Thank you very much, Fatih. Coming from Amadou Baba, he says, brilliant submission is corruption at all levels. Dave Tay says, wow, excellent submissions by Obama. Thank you. Yeboah Maxwell says, I think the sports journalists have to come and coach the Black Stars. Dash Dinkan says, Paul, even if we bring a magician to coach the players, they would still not play well, simply because the current players are not playing with passion for the nation, but they are playing for money and also for exposure. They see themselves to be a master of their own game and refusing to listen and even play as a team. Everyone wants to show that they are better than the other. Such players would always make coaches' work very difficult, and the whole nation would end up blaming the coaches. Douglas Mensah says, it looks like the Ghanaian players are not hungry for achievement. For me, he says, for him, the players don't look serious at all. And then lastly, coming from Said Countryman, he says, the fireman, an enduring legacy of unalloyed drive, untamed wit and unstoppable belief in the Ghanaian game. A man of the people, a people's person with conviction, countryman, a legend in his own right, my namesake for all the positive reasons. Fire on. Chase those crazy bald heads out of town. Okay, that would be it. Over to you, Paul.
Countryman Songo, they say she chase those crazy bald heads out. What's your last word? Final word, and we are closing.
Yeah, we should do the right thing. Yeah, we should do the right thing. And
so hopefully we'll do the right thing.
If we are going for a coach, we should go for a coach that has that cloth, that professional touch. A coach that, I mean, our DNA, or bit media, Europe, DNA, and Asabia, the modern day DNA, no so to let us see results from Blasters. We should be result oriented. It's not about anything just mediocrity. That is not what we are looking for. You understand? We should be result oriented. And I'm hoping that the government will take the direction now as we are in search for a new coach. At least as much as, I mean, we know football people are the people that would have to make sure that, yeah, your football no say be running okay, smooth, and we'll get a coach and that kind of thing. Yes, we know we are not going to push them aside. 5 times they've appointed coach, let me put it that way, this administration. Doesn't mean it's going to be a government appointee straight up. But we just want the government to take a look at what has happened in the past. They are about this level. I 71 days, 70 days, a World Cup. Now we are now in search for a coach. So they should take a clue out of that so that we can at least get something better. And yes, if you are the World Cup by any apamno, na asakoya another problem. That is not what we want now. That is so they should know what is good for us. They should know what we want and they should be able to do the right thing. But they should stop that their selfish interest. Share interest and some no, they should look at the nation's interest first. The nation's interest and then also share. So we can get a proper coach. And it is not only coach. But the issue about Blasters is not only coach. We are going to sleep. Yes, but I'm saying to you, the issue about Blasters is not only about coach.
It's also about FA administration.
It's about the people managing Blasters, managing our football. There are problems also there. Okay. That is the issue here. It is almost the same. When they do things right, we won't get to this far, and also we won't get to this level. They should understand that. On their appointment, get us a coach. Then, also 15 years experience with all criteria. I will say, I meet Sunny Director say, this time you go for a coach. You don't just put up criteria and then they claim criteria. Menam de buy. Menam de beto. You free AFCON buy. I will Cote d'Ivoire. And no more criteria and beto was say 15 years experience coach in the Omo River. Menam de criteria and beto. Someone munim bo muno. Mona de beto. Just to deceive Ghanaians. Just to deceive Ghanaians because Mute criteria never to one. If they will be honest to themselves, Omubo say a lot of coaches are put up. That means say who be breaking news and say yeah, you are low and here fan. What went into it? Do I keep low? Yes, you won Germany. After Germany, the day Koi. I mean, do I keep low? No, these current players. And no Babi before mana. These current players for more blasters and they kind of crash now. And no money you good. A clear bin a yard here. Maybe you are bleaching one more. These current players for more blasters. I'm telling you. Maybe born in I'm see more keke. Woman your opportunity wa bleaching aqua academy, your post school, your papa to meet a man the apple. And the bobo. And Mudi Bobby. Talent in the hawk. So, you proper scouting, proper. I mean, you are just wasting resources. I want me to a 20 technical team. Blasters technical team, you're 20. Not 20. It is not about it is not about 6 or 5 assistant coaches.
20.
They would say 5 assistant coaches. They are 20, including a technical scouting, including
set piece
video
coach,
analysis, set piece coaches,
goalkeepers coach, strikers coach.
This is the board you are giving us. This is the board. This is the result of the Maya. Resources now almost said the keke. Almost taking about 6 months to go out there to look at players in our local league. And to me and Nyamba Kokra. Because the local league goalkeeper Benjamin, he was already with the Blasters. And ask yourself, Paul, who are the guys playing short to the goalkeeper or short now? You didn't say the goalkeeper is good, so he should go to the Blasters.
Local league.
So meaning that the guys now no more short, no, they are good players in there. There are good players there. Goalkeeper no no fit. Benjamin Sari no no fit and then because we're Benjamin Sari and also because he's keeping goalposts for Accra. That is why they invited him to the national team. Because he was playing very well in the local league. And players Ben and able born a short, and man teaching balls now. Who say we good, So those players, where are they? Where are they?
That's a good point. That's a good point. But I need to wrap this up.
Look at this protocol. You want to tell me, say you can't even get 1 or 2 players from protocol? You can't get player from Mediama? What are you telling me? You can't get player from Heart of Lions? What are they saying to us? What are they Paul? Tell me, who share Blasters boys we Bob Pam who say so high? Local boys, so woman local boys and the chance of women breaking ball answer say. What are you telling me?
I said,
why?
You have to close.
Strike a bill find about 1 2 more theater. 1 2 day he falls. 1 2 day he falls. What strike? I don't want to strike.
But
I need to mention his name.
Yeah, but it's midnight, so we have to say good night.
So you can't get a local player. Move there 1 2 1 10 to beat Medina Ediama a Blasters.
Yeah, we can get a local player, I'm sure.
They should be truthful to themselves.
That was an exhilarating.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
No, 1,000 times no. Jesus the Christ did not come to start a new religion, but to impart the life of God to humans, to regenerate them into sons of God. Have you received Jesus Christ? Then you are a new creature. The human is gone. You are now divine. Hallelujah.
Join Dr. David Bindan on the Good Life devotion every Monday to Friday on this channel and receive truth that will usher you into the divine life experience of sinless holiness, incorruptible health, deathlessness, and reigning in life as a son of God in the full measure of the stature of Christ.
Here is today's Good Life devotion with Dr. David Bindan.
Wow, praise the Lord, hallelujah. Such a joy once again to welcome you today to this special episode of our favorite blood devotion. And a good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are. Welcome to the platform on which we receive greater light of the truth of God's word to mature us and bring us into our Christness so we can live as we ought to have been living, as ordained by the Father before we came here. We've been dealing with the subject of hearing from our Father. In Christ Jesus, Yahweh is no longer just a big universal creator, and we are no more just nothing or specks of sand on the seashore. No, he is now our Father, and we are his bona fide begotten sons and daughters in Christ. Our relationship in the God kind is the most amazing one. You'd be surprised to know that in Christ, we are the first fruits of all of God's creation. It means we occupy the topmost place. So in James 1:18, it says that of his own will begot he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creation. And if you go into the palace of a great king, the most important person is the son. It is in this son that we have now become embodied as the body of Christ. This is so profound, so deep, so great. It is called the unsearchable wisdom of God. The day you attempt to grasp these things, you realize that literally your body seems to be ripping apart. Because the energies of such truth, Koramashata, far surpasses the greatest power on the earth. But these are the realities about us.